They always seem to know exactly how to get under your skin. How to make you doubt yourself. How to pull you back, right when you start to pull away. It's not random. It's not bad luck. It's precision. Because narcissists are emotional hunters, and they target your weak spots like it's instinct. But here's the truth most people don't see: they don't just find your vulnerabilities, they create them, over time. Today, we're breaking down exactly how that happens, psychologically, emotionally, and even neurologically, so you can finally stop being the prey in someone else's game. When a narcissist meets you, they don't see you, they scan you. They study your energy, your empathy, your insecurities, and most importantly, what makes you feel responsible for other people's emotions. If you're kind, they'll call it too much. If you're generous, they'll call it naive. If you're forgiving, they'll call it weak. But behind those words, they're taking notes. Because those very traits, empathy, sensitivity, loyalty, are the tools they'll later use against you. It's psychological profiling in disguise. And they do it through charm, through instant connection, through mirroring your dreams, values, even your language. It's not real connection, it's data collection. Once they know your emotional map, they begin testing it. Small lies, subtle criticisms, sudden withdrawals. They study your reaction, and every time you explain, defend, or over-apologize, they learn what works. This isn't a conscious spreadsheet in their mind, it's learned behavior, reinforced over years of manipulation. They find your triggers, the need to be understood. The fear of being abandoned. The guilt of not being enough. And once they know those doors, they keep walking through them, until you start confusing pain with connection. Because your brain begins to associate their approval with safety, and their rejection with danger. That's how the trauma bond begins, and why it feels impossible to walk away. The narcissist's greatest fear isn't rejection, it's insignificance. Control keeps them feeling powerful. So every time you begin to feel strong again, they'll do something, a text, a compliment, a small "I miss you," just to pull you back in. They're not coming back for you. They're coming back for control. And they'll use your empathy as a leash. Your hope as a hook. Your love as a weapon. But once you see the pattern, you take away their power. Because the moment you recognize it's manipulation, the spell breaks. Your brain runs on chemicals. Oxytocin, dopamine, cortisol, the same ones that light up in addiction. Each high from their attention is followed by a low when they withdraw. That cycle of reward and punishment trains your nervous system to chase the next hit, even when it hurts. That's why logic alone can't free you. You can know they're toxic and still miss them. Because your body hasn't caught up with your mind yet. Healing isn't just about leaving the person, it's about rewiring your body to stop mistaking intensity for intimacy. Healing begins when you stop personalizing the pattern. They didn't target you because you're weak, they targeted you because you're open. Because you feel deeply. Because you love fully. Your empathy was never the problem, it was their playground. So you start healing the moment you stop proving your worth to people who profit from your pain. You start seeing manipulation not as mystery, but as a pattern you can predict and avoid. That's how you take your power back. Not by becoming colder, but by becoming clearer. Because clarity is the end of control. You can't stop narcissists from existing, but you can stop being their mirror. Once you understand how they target you, you stop being their supply. You become someone they can't read, can't guilt, and can't use. And that's when you finally see the truth beneath it all. You were never broken. You were conditioned. And now, you're free to unlearn it. Subscribe for more deep dives that help you understand your patterns, heal your nervous system, and rebuild your peace from the inside out.